So we've done history of weather. Now we get more history.
We do. Well, those of you who think history is a bunch of dull facts will be glad to meet Jim Rawls, known by many as Dr. History. The professor, radio personality, and author has a new book called Dr. History's Sampler, More Stories of California's Past. He joins us now on the Saturday morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
Like a lot of folks, I used to think history was absolutely boring until I had a wonderful teacher, really made the stories come alive. I ended up majoring in history as a result. Is that the real key, is to find really good stories?
Oh, I think so. I think that's the way we think of ourselves. You ask who you are and you tell a story about your life, and that's the collective stories is what we make our history.
And really try and humanize the stories.
Absolutely.
Which you have done in this sampler, which is sort of a vignette of 50 different tales, including one by Charlie. Well, there's a little secret.
Yeah, there is a story in there about a guy named Charlie. He was a stagecoach driver on the run from Santa Cruz up to San Jose. Oh. And Charlie was a pretty tough old hombre. They said that he would outswear and outdrink and outchew even the whalers down at Monterey. But it turned out Charlie certainly did have a secret. When he died in 1879, it was revealed that there was a little more or less to Charlie than what met the eye.
Which was?
Charlie was actually a woman. He wore these big old gloves, or she, we should say, wore these big old gloves
to mask
the small hands, wore kind of pleated shirts to hide the figure. Nobody ever knew. Some people suspected because of the high voice and the kind of clean-shaven look that Charlie always had.
They figured Charlie was just a neat kind of guy.
Had kind of high-toned ideas, they said in those days, but everybody was very surprised when Charlie's secret was finally revealed.
Where do you find all these stories?
Well, you know, I'm an active historian, so I'm always doing, shall we say, serious historical research over here, and I come across these vignettes, these stories that don't really fit in, so I put them in my Dr. History pile, and those are the ones that go on KMBR with Frank and Mike.
Very well. Seeing the Elephant is another one of your stories.
That's right. That reminds us of a woman, another woman in California history, Louise Amelia Knapp Smith Clapp, also known as...
remember all of this.
Well, she had a nom de plume, Dame Shirley, and she wrote letters back to her sister in the East about life in California, and she described a Christmas in the gold rush. It was on a day very much like today with all this rain pouring down. She sat there in her cabin with the canvas roof tattered, the calico on the wall all stained with mud, and she said with her hand and her head in her hand, just forlornly thinking about the folks back home that she had left. She captured for us what I think was the essence of a gold rush Christmas, being very, very homesick.
And we don't always get a real accurate portrayal of women back in that time as well.
Well, it was 90% men, so it's hard to get a woman's perspective on the gold rush, but Dame Shirley did that for us.
Of these 50 stories, which is your favorite?
Well, maybe the one about Abe Lincoln. You know, we think of presidents these days coming out to California to retire, to vacation, but Abraham Lincoln also had a dream of retiring in California. The day he was assassinated...
Like other presidents.
That's right. The day he was assassinated, he went for a buggy ride with his wife, and they were talking about California. He said he would love to come out here and to retire, to see the big trees, to see the redwoods, to see the gold mines. That was his dream, he said. His wife wanted to go to Europe, but he said, no, California is where we ought to go. And with a line sort of like Ronald Reagan might have said, so California, I think, would be a perfect place for Mother and Daddy to retire. But he never made it, of course.
What a sad story. Great. Dr. History Sampler, thank you very much. Is the name of the book. Jim Rawls, we appreciate your company.
Thank you,
Saturday morning.
Thank you.